the recording. Lovely. Well, welcome everybody. Gosh, we've done over 70 sessions of Black History Conversations over the last couple of years. Just amazing. I just have to thank all the folks who've joined in from time to time and the presenters and speakers. I'm Liz Millman from an organisation called Learning Links International. And my colleague Simon Caringo is from, works with an organisation called Belong Nottingham and does lots of other things. And Simon's in charge of the recordings and helping to manage the whole programme. We've had others involved over the time, helping us to manage and move things along. But it really has been a fantastic experience for me, and I can only thank you so much for all of you. So I'm next going to just acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I'm currently living. I'm living in Australia at the moment with my family, but this area is the area the traditional owners are the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. And I'm acknowledge their elders past, present and future. This land, as does the entire continent of Australia, belongs to the sovereign people of the First Nations. It was never ceded, there were never any treaties. It always was the land of the first Australians, and it always will be. Okay, just to let you know that on Sunday, weather permitting, we've got a storm coming, so we just hope we stay safe. We're organising a community festival, and we've invited Uncle Murundindi. He's going to do a welcome to country and a smoking ceremony. This is a healing ceremony to help after the storm of last year. It's an annual thing we want to make now. But these ladies are the Juri dancers, and they're mostly Aboriginal heritage, and they're coming to run a dance workshop for us. So I used that picture to say today. And we've also got Uncle Dave Wanding coming, and he's going to be explaining to us about fire stick burning, which is the traditional way of dealing with a land like Australia that's extraordinarily fire prone. If you control burn, then when you do get a fire, wildfire, then it's not as serious. But of course, since the Europeans have been here, we haven't been doing control burning. So we've got these fire challenges and fire issues. So that's my acknowledgement of country that I do every time. And then I also was asked to recognise, as the Black History Conversations team, also recognise the pain and trauma that so many other communities around the world are suffering. And we wish to support the efforts that recognise the ongoing oppression of so many, the challenges. And we also wanted to recognise the natural and climate change disasters that are affecting so many communities around the world. And I really, really empathise with you in the UK and the heat there. At the moment, we have a colleague with us from Jamaica, Lorna. And at the moment, the UK, I don't know if you've heard, Lorna, but it's incredibly hot there. Just point out it's perishing cold here in Australia at the moment, where I am. Now, we had an ADOC week going back to the first Australians, and that was held from the 3rd of July to the 10th of July. And the theme was get up, stand up and show up. And it's a really wonderfully assertive time now in Australia with a new government who are fully backing the Uluru Statement from the Heart. I can tell you more about all these things at some other time, but this isn't the main focus for our session. What we're going to be focusing on our session is we're going to focus, continue our focus about the Windrush farrago, and we'll be talking when the Jamaican High Commissioner joins us, which I can't see at the moment. Where's my list of people anyway? When he joins us, then we'll be talking about the book that's been produced. Okay then, right, now we've been joined as well by Carol Sorrento, and also, oh, I can see you now, Lorna, that's lovely. Lorna's with us from Pennants in Jamaica. Now we're going to start off. I've got a PowerPoint to, right, okay, and the High Commissioner's just joining us now. That's wonderful. Right, so change of plan. Right, welcome to you, Seth George Ramocan.
Oh, thank you so much. Hi, Liz. How are you? And good afternoon, everyone. Glad to join you.
That's brilliant. We ought to ask everybody to take off their bikes and just say greetings and welcome to you.
Afternoon, afternoon.
Greetings, Grand Rising.
Greetings to you. And with me is my dear wife.
Hello from Dominica. Greetings.
Greetings.
Lovely. Carol's joining us from Dominica. That's really lovely. We've got Lorna Thomas from Pennants in Jamaica. We've got McCarthy Celeste from Tanzania. He's at the moment, and we've got a whole crowd from around and about in the UK, and me here in Australia. So we've got a real good crowd. George, it's really brilliant, and Lola, it's lovely to see you. I'm sure you may want to have a little chat with us, but I wanted to share a bit of a treat with you. So if you'll bear with me, we might do that. But I don't know if you want to say anything just initially.
Maybe to listen first.
Okay, then. Well,
and then to come on in. Yes.
Right. Let me start the treat for you. I do hope this will be a treat. Okay, back in 2018, I had the honour with my colleagues to host a visit by His Excellency Seth George Ramocan and Dr Lola Ramocan to Wales. So if it's all right, I'm going to show pictures of that visit and remember what happened then. I thought it might be a nice gesture. That's okay. So it was in August, the weather was reasonable, and the High Commission team, because Vivian Seaver came along, the Community Development Officer there, came along and joined us. So I'm going to just make this large now and see if you can all see it even better. So here we go. Let's give it a try. Can you see that okay, everybody?
Yeah.
Good, right. Well, after getting off the train, I met the team and we went to the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama and met some of the elders from the Windrush Elders in Cardiff. So that was really lovely. I don't think any of them has joined us today, but I'll be, having gone through these photographs, George and Lola, I just remember a really lovely few days. So do chip in if you want to.
Of course. No, this is amazing. You talk about a treat. It's an amazing treat. I do recall, Liz, this very, significant visit. It was our very first time to Wales, and it was such a thorough visit because we did both North and South Wales, and had the opportunity of being hosted by the council, the city council there, the mayor, and so many distinguished persons. We were able to visit the university.
Well, I'm going to take you, George, I'm going to take you on a trip down memory lane because we're going to go through photos of all this lot. So
that would be wonderful. Go ahead.
This is lovely then at the, excuse me interrupting you there, but this was the Royal Welsh College. We had some wonderful music, we had the elders speaking, you were making presentations, others spoke as well. And I was very honoured to be presented by you for an award from Race Council Cymru. That was a really spectacular moment. And that was a thank you to me for getting all this organised. Anyway, after we'd had that session at the Royal College, you managed to fit in a session with JP Producers. That was lovely, wasn't it? And you were talking business there and things. So that was brilliant. And then in the evening, we went to Butte Town Community Centre, and this is Pastor Lester Freckleton, who was welcoming you, and the South Wales Jamaica Society organised this session. So Hilary Brown was one of the speakers, and also Patty Flynn. Patty's passed now, sadly, but she's just such a wonderful singer. So we had a wonderful, wonderful evening there. And there's Vivian Seaver. I couldn't miss her out because she was very much a part of organising and being with us for the 3 days that you were brilliantly able to organise to come to Wales. Right, now we're on to the next day. So after we'd had that wonderful evening at Butte Town Community Centre, we then travelled up by train the next morning from Cardiff to Bangor and went straight to the university. So there's lots of pictures here eating, because obviously during the 3 days with all these places that we managed to squeeze in for you to visit, you had to have some sustenance. So our little red dragon on the picture up here, I think he was a gift from the university for you. A meeting with the Vice-Chancellor. That was very formal. You presented him with a bottle of Appleton's rum. I think he was really impressed by that. So that was a great time there. Then we went to Bangor University Archives, and this was just fascinating. And Lola, I have to say, you look just absolutely fantastic in your Jamaican colours. And there we are with being introduced to Bangor University Archives. Now, I've put several of these illustrations of the archives in really to share with Lorna, because these are about Jamaica and about penance. And what the archive have done since you visited George and Lola is that they've now got technology that enables you to see all these maps online. Wow. So that's really very interesting indeed. This map is actually of the Denby estate, so you can see all the bits and pieces. Now I can't zoom in on anything showing it like this, but in other ways I've taken photographs and you can. So this was another of the illustrations that we saw. These are original documents, original maps and plans of the estates and letters and things that relate directly to their plantations in Jamaica, which included Denby Plantation, Pennant, Coupis, and the others. And this is part of the plan of the lands bounding on the River Mino, and this is dated the 31st of August 1779. Really interesting. And then I zoomed in and saw, and my, yeah, I'm just trying to work out the dates. It actually says on this part of the land in North Clarendon, Captain Gifford Pennant. Well, he was the first Pennant who went from Wales as captain of the horse with Cromwell's forces, who invaded in 56 was it? So I'm not quite sure that, but maybe the land was just called after him after all that time. But anyway, while I was putting this PowerPoint presentation together, I got really interested in all these maps again. So I apologise, perhaps I'm going on at too much length, but it's really fascinating. But up here, Lorna, this is John Austen's land here. Yeah. And this is also down here, it's Mark Richard Lord Penryn. And then the Gifford Pennant again. So these maps are so interesting and are now available for you in Jamaica to see. So we can arrange times when we can get the people in the archives in Bangor to show us the these maps, and we can zoom right in, so you can read all this. Right, it's just fascinating. Anyway, I won't go on. And there are also letters as well. And this at the top is a plan of the River Mino, but at the bottom there's a letter and a descriptor all about it. And if I could zoom in and you could read the writing of the time, then you can see that. So it was just an incredible meeting session. And I know, Lola, you were fascinated, weren't you?
Yes, very much, and still is.
Right, so I think we need to really have a good look at this. Maybe we'll wait for a couple of months until things get organised and settle down, whatever. Anyway, then arriving at Penryn Castle, the only thing I haven't got here, Lorna, but I'll show you later, is actually to see what this Penryn Castle looks like. And this is the place that was built on the wealth that was generated from the pennant plantations in Jamaica. So it's really nice to see all these nice, bright, happy. They were so excited to have a visit from such distinguished guests. So it was really lovely. So we went all around the castle and we saw all the opulence and the gilding and the expensive paintings and the, I'm not sure if it was gold-plated cutlery, but it was gold-plated things on the table. It really is an incredible place. And the National Trust have now asked the North Wales Jamaica Society and Black Heritage Walks to help them to tell the story better, because they're aware that the story is told in a rather interesting way at the moment. Now, the way that they were telling the story about the links with Jamaica at the time when you visited was through an exhibition, which included, as you can see on the right, a castle of sugar, which is indicative of where the wealth came from. There's also the translation of the diagram of the slave ship says embers, and I don't understand that, so I'd need to follow it up. But also this embroidery is a quote, direct quote from Richard Pennant. When he was writing, he was then resident in Wales in the 1700s, late 1700s. And he says, "I do not wish the cattle nor the Negroes to be overworked." Say no more. Right, okay, this is one of the paintings of a plantation. This is actually the Pennant's plantation. So Lorna, this is actually a painting from the 1700s of Pennants, and we can identify where some of these buildings were. It's an accurate representation, but an idealized representation. This was the common practice. There's also one of the Denby plantation. Then in the castle as well, there are a number of paintings from Jamaica. This one is from, I think, Port Antonio, but there are a number of others. Some of them aren't even named, and there may be more even in their stores. So then that is the only direct evidence of the link with the plantations. Anyway, after that busy afternoon, we were in the evening with as gusts of the Mayor of Bangor. I do apologise, I did this a bit speedily. So it was great to have the Mayor of Bangor. This is middle of August, bear in mind, and he's wearing his thick robes, so he was very kind. We also had the Lord Lieutenant of Gwynedd and other dignitaries with us, and the sheriff as well, the lady with the mauve suit on the side. So that was in the City of Bangor Council Hall, which is called Penryn Hall. We had the choir from Bethesda, Welsh Voice Choir, sing. That was beautiful to remember. And we also had a women's choir, and my good colleague Caroline Sansom, who I don't know whether she's going to be able to join us today, but Caroline arranged for her choir to join us, and Caroline was the driver on the for the 3 day, well, for the 2 days you were in North Wales, so she was good. And some gorgeous photographs here. special memory of Mary Stennett. She's passed now, but that she passed the book about her husband, Enrico Stennett, which was written by Jim Takodorin, who often joins us on these sessions. And she presented that book to the Lord Lieutenant. So that was wonderful. I'm so glad we've got that photograph. And also the chair of the North Wales Jamaica Society, Natalie Fagan Brown. She and her family so much enjoyed your visit. It was just fabulous.
Yes,
Right.
excuse me, Liz.
Yeah.
The High Commissioner said he had to leave. He will come back in because he couldn't hear the sound. So he'll be back in a minute.
You want me to stop for a minute then? We're going to do something else till they come back?
Yeah, I think that'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah, okay then, right, fine. Well, we'll carry on with the introductions, what we were doing with everybody else then, that's fine. Thank you very much, June Elizabeth, because it makes it impossible to see. Here we are, right, okay. Good to see you back again.
Good, thank you.
Right, can you see us and you can hear now, all right?
Yes, we're hearing.
Okay then, right.
Yes.
I'm not sure how far we got with the story, but we're up to after the Denby show.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes.
Now this was pretty special because this was quite early, sort of 9 o'clock-ish in the morning, and we were going off to the Denby show. And I have to say, Dr. Lola Ramocan, you looked absolutely fantastic. And George, you look great in that shirt. You look really good.
Yeah, trying to follow Lola.
It was so lovely.
Yeah.
Anyway, off we went, got to the show, and we discovered that the Jamaican colours are much in evidence because of the John Deere tractors and trucks and all sorts. So that was a really lovely photograph. And you were welcomed by the young farmers. They were quite intrigued to have such important visitors. We've tried over the years to make the links with the Denby show, but now that you're going to be going back over to Jamaica, I'm looking forward to us really establishing some good links with young farmers in Jamaica and the young farmers in Denby. It would be such a great link. It's wonderful. Look at your earrings as well, Lola. They were fabulous too. So there we were, sitting in the sun, enjoying cakes and chatting to people. So it was just really lovely. And there's so many similarities with the Denby show. It's another gorgeous photograph. The lady on the right in black and white is one of the show officials, and everybody there was so delighted to see you. We had opportunities to sit in the sun, which was gorgeous. We had our fair share of Welsh dragons there as well.
Yes.
And then this was interesting. This was Pennant Park Golf Club. So the name Pennant, Lorna, is around and about in North Wales in a number of guises. Also, you went to look around all the different stalls and things, just like you'd have if it was at the Denby show in Jamaica, and that was the Denby Heritage Service. And then you met Karen Cross. Karen had heard, she was there working for the Red Cross on her stand, and she heard that the Jamaican High Commissioner and his wife were here, and she couldn't believe her luck, because her father was is mentioned in the book that you've now produced, George,
Yes.
and he was from Jamaica in the Air Force and lived on Anglesey. So yeah, that was lovely. And Karen's one of our active members normally. Well, just to show that it was an agricultural show, because these are all pictures of you looking happy in the sunshine. We sat and looked at all the prize cows and bulls and admired the parades of tractors around the rink. So it was just lovely. And this was another of the show officials. It's one of the presidents with you. So we certainly have got some gorgeous memories. And then also, I know you were intrigued by the Shire horses. They were really lovely. Yeah. And finally, that lovely shot with Natalie Fagan-Brown and her husband and little Kaya, and also Vivian Seaver. So it really was just an amazing few days. It was just wonderful. So lovely.
Oh.
So I hope that was all right.
Look, Liz, I'm amazed. This really has been really a treasure piece for us, and so much memories. I tell you, as I looked through, it was kind of reminding me of these many instances, and it shows the importance of record, to have these things noted. But I think you have done an extraordinary job in building the Jamaica Wales Alliance. And, these moments are very valuable. The link, with Bangor University, which I think opened our eyes, and not only that, but opened the records, because this was part of the problem, that a lot of the things that have taken place and that form a part of our history, if you may, we had no direct access to them. And I was very impressed at the response of the principal and others at Bangor, who said, look, well, I made a request whether copies of these could be shared with the University of the West Indies, and would help, in the studies that we do on history, and to know a little bit more in depth about the relationship. And they were quite open and volunteered to share with us. Of course, the spirit of welcome that we received on being there, it's really also encouraged the building of this relationship. We, on our part, certainly communicated that this was not information that stirred up, the ills of the past, but information that is enlightening for the current generation and future generations who, why is it called pennant, in Jamaica? Who was, who were these people? I had the privilege of meeting two of his sons there, and they too have in some way indicated their interest in some level of relationship building. I wouldn't necessarily use the word reparations, but those are some of the things that in the Caribbean that are being looked at. How can we help to right the wrongs along the way in a spirit of good human relations? We know that we are 3-4 generations away from all of that, more than that, more probably, I don't remember how many generations this is, but certainly the children of those who were involved in slavery cannot be blamed for their parents' actions. But certainly what we can all do is to acknowledge how much this was very much, not in keeping with good human relations, and how we can ensure that these things are never repeated in the future. Liz, you are an extremely valuable, person to us, and the work you have done all voluntarily, and not only that, but knowing the busyness of your schedule, I wonder, how did you get time to put all this together and to get all those visits going? So we want to especially say thank you for the work you've done, and thank you to your team, the team there on the ground, who did so much to make this visit possible, and to have left a record that certainly will be lasting memory. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you so much. And yes, as you say, it's the team, isn't it? It's teamwork. And it was great to have the honour of supporting your team, you support. It was just great. It was really great. Now, the next thing that I just want to pick up on now, if it's all right, is that, oops, today, see what I've been doing here. Just forgive me a minute. I'm trying to share the screen and I've not sorted out what I'm sharing yet. That's right. Okay, so I am delighted that Jamaicans in Britain has now been published, and this is a real, a wonderful biographical book commissioned by the Jamaican High Commission and published in April 2022, acknowledging the achievements of over 500 individuals from the Windrush generation to descendants in present day Britain. Now, I know a number of people who are with us now have already got their copies of Jamaicans in Britain, A Legacy of Leadership, the book which documents short bios and stories of the challenges and tribulations people have had to overcome and the achievements that paved the way for today's second and third generations. So I can't tell you how delighted I was to hear that this book, which had been one of the things that you kind of pledged when you took on the role of Jamaican High Commissioner, that you were going to do this book. Yeah. And I know it's been difficult, but you've managed it, and it looks magnificent.
It was certainly a difficult journey. In 2017, during the time of the 55th anniversary of Jamaica's independence, I announced that this is one of the legacy projects that I would undertake. But we ran into quite a bit of problems. There were many stop and starts. But at the end, you know, we have been able to get to this point. There have been different teams. The last of these teams was headed by Joy Seagard, who did a marvelous job in bringing it all together. One thing I certainly want to say at all times when I speak about the book, that this is just a tip of the iceberg. Mm-hmm. There are thousands upon thousands of our nationals and persons of Jamaican heritage here in the United Kingdom who have done an enormous job, you know, in building this, you know, not only the community, but in contributing significantly to the well-being of the United Kingdom and Jamaica. And, you know, they are to be saluted. They are to be remembered. But we would like for the posterity, for, you know, the generations that would not have had a direct connection to their grandparents, to be so aware that they belong. They are not visitors to this country. They are builders who have done an enormous job to build modern Britain. And so this book is just a kind of a coffee table reminder. And we hope that we will have an online version of the book that will be continually updated. I've spoken with the publishers about it and hope that they'll be able to carry through on that. But we think that there are so many persons to be in this book that it cannot be a print. It cannot be stopped at a print copy. It has to be updated and continued so that we can give due recognition to these thousands of persons who are deserving of this recognition. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm just going to mention people who've joined us in this session. We've got June Elizabeth White-Smith Gully, who's a Windrush ambassador. and you're a real heroine, aren't you? You're a hero. We've got Bentley Cunningham here. We've got Bernard Burrell. We've got Nordia, and we've got Makapi Selassie, all of whom I know have Jamaican heritage. Am I missing anybody out? Well, of course, Lorna, you've got Jamaican heritage because you're over there in Pennant. So we're going to make a big fuss of you in a minute. So I don't know if any of you want to say anything to the High Commissioner.
Yes, please, Liz.
Okay, Ben.
Just thank you very much, Liz. Your Excellency, and Mrs. Ramocan, I have been hearing a little uncomfortable noise that your tour of duty is coming to an end.
Oh boy.
Which I don't know if that how true that is. Due to the mobility problem I'm having, you don't see me a lot. But if it's true, I'd like to say how proud I am. And I know a number of people in the Jamaican and Caribbean community is proud of your performance during your tour of duty. Nobody dare say a bad word against you, make me hear. And congratulations on the work that you've done. You had a presence, you have an outreach, and you conduct yourself in such a Christian and I'm fighting for words, but amenable way. And thank you very much for bringing that gracefulness to that office of High Commission in London, both of you. Thank you very kindly. It's deeply appreciated.
Oh boy,
I'd like to echo that. As a member of the Mary Seacole, we've met many times, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. I'm based in Northampton. I'm also a member of the Nurses Association of Jamaica, and I'm in the book, and I'd like to just echo what Bentley has just said. And I don't want to make you feel away, but I've known all the High Commissioners that have come to England, and you and your wife have done us proud. You've done us very proud. And to leave the legacy, as a historian, to leave this legacy of the book, I think it's not only great for us here, but for the generations to come. And I humbly salute you both. One love.
one love.
Thank you so much, June Elizabeth, and thank you so much, Bentley. Bernard, would you like to say anything?
No, I just want to say thanks on behalf of Lola, myself, my team at the High Commission. It was for us more than an honor to be here, to have met all the wonderful person, Ben. You and I go back from the very beginning. I think from the same week. I got here, and
Yeah.
sorry, we haven't seen each other enough over the past 2 or 3 years, part of it having to do with the COVID issue. But certainly we go away with wonderful memories. We actually were scheduled to depart in June, and our successor was not yet in place. So because of the independence celebrations, I agreed with the request that I should extend to August. So our departure, August is our last month here. And so we may see each other along the way because there are many events taking place, and I hope to be at as many of them as I possibly can. So look forward to that. Well, thanks for your very kind words.
Oh, that's amazing. Now I'm just wondering, I just want to welcome a friend of mine from Wolverhampton, Jaswinder Singh Chagga, this very handsome gentleman who's joined us on the screen. Jaswinder once told me that his name was Handsome, and I have called him that ever since. Just thought it was his name. Well done. Now, Janita Cox is with us, and Janita's working hard on research with Windrush, and Janita just wanted to raise a point, I think. Unmute yourself.
Thank you, Liz. Yeah, no, I just wanted to say a little bit about the project because I think obviously His Excellency was on this very platform, I don't know, a few months ago, and I introduced myself to him then, but I didn't then follow up. And I just wanted to say that I was working on the Windrush scandal and the looking at it in its transnational and Commonwealth context. And so part of the project has been to compile or bring together some oral histories from the perspective of the Black community. And what we've been particularly interested is in not just interviewing survivors of the scandal, but also interviewing the activists. So of course, June Elizabeth has been has kindly contributed to that project as well. But we've also been interviewing High Commissioners, and I've interviewed Guy Hewitt and various other people, but I'm just conscious because the High Commissioner's leaving, or you're departing in August, I would really love to be able to interview you as part of the project, and or to have my colleague Eve interview you. And I just wondered if you'd be willing. I've put you on the spot. How about that?
Yeah, but certainly it's an easy answer. Yes, I'm most willing.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
The question is to find a time that's convenient for us both.
Okay, that's fantastic. Do you mind if we use your personal email address? Because I believe my colleagues tried the one with the High Commission, but hasn't had a response.
Sure. Yes, you may. And do you have my telephone number?
I don't know.
Because I'm on WhatsApp as well.
Okay, that would be really helpful.
Right. That's I can give that to you. It's okay. 073
073
9101
9101
6514.
6514 0739 1016514.
That's correct.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you, Liz. Thanks for that opportunity.
Okay. Bernard, was there anything you wanted to any comment you wanted to make from?
Yes, thank you, Liz, because I'll have to go shortly. But just to say that the High Commissioner and his wife it's sad here that they're leaving. Unfortunately, as a journalist, this is the first time a High Commissioner has been to London where I haven't had a chance to meet them except at a social gathering. The only time we met was at Vera's, my cousin's garden party. It's very unusual for me because I've been in touch with all the commissioners going way back to the late 70s, particularly when they had a mission in Manchester where I was brought up after I came from Jamaica. So it's unfortunate that we never get to meet except at that event, but I'm glad, as June said, you're leaving a legacy behind, which of course has never been done before. And coming from somebody who has put together the Coxston Heritage Group, which is a group, as I mentioned before you came on, of the Pennants from Clarendon, the Borrells, the Mays, who you're aware of, and so forth. And of course, it's good to see that we've got June from Pennants there. So it's a shame I'm not going to, Lorna rather, is there. I'm not going to be here what she has to say. But I know, Commissioner and your wife, because she's also from the area of Clarendon, the links are going to continue.
And by the way, her maiden name is Burrell.
Well, I know. Yes, I was.
So you know. Okay.
When Vera told me, and I was so pleased. So we've got lots in common. And also, I was pleased to hear about the Denby Agricultural Show, and I look forward to that link being established, particularly with the farmers in that part of Clarendon and so forth. There's so many things, but I want to thank Liz, especially. I mean, I think you've done a marvelous job, and in the Coxston Heritage Group, I had to make it known that your work is so invaluable, and we want to thank you enormously for your work. And it's good to see everybody. And I would like to get in touch with one or two people like Juanita, because I did some work interviews in my heavy journalism day with some people from going way back who came in the 40s and 50s. And I just discovered some of the cassette tapes, not the cassette tapes. So that tells you how they go back. And some of those are quite interesting. I think it was Faye Ellington was suggesting I should share some of those with the Institute of Jamaica. And I will do that. And I'll seek counsel from people like yourself, High Commissioner, and others who will be able to help me how to pass this on, because I don't think, as you discovered, Bangor University should be kept to one individual or one institution. We should share it for the current generation and future generations, as you mentioned. So again, good luck with your departure. I know you will continue to be missed and to be involved with UK's things. And Liz, again, I know I'm overstretching it, but we cannot thank you enough for the work you're doing. Thank you so much indeed. And look forward to seeing you when I come down to Australia. I'll talk again soon, okay?
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you very much. Lola, you're being very quiet. I hope you can hang on for a few minutes, because I want to give you a bit of a treat, special treat. But I just want to explain about something that we're going to be doing next, and we'll be asking for your help with this. Now, out of the, oh dear, sorry, as it gets later, I just get,
what time is it there?
just gone midnight.
Oh dear.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so just to say that we've had a fantastic season of sessions, season 6 it's been, and we've moved through so many different aspects to do with Windrush and the Windrush stories, and we've had support from Makapi Selassie. He's been doing research into intergenerational family stories and children family members who were left behind in Jamaica, all those stories. So what we're planning to do is to work with Dr. Hilary Robertson Hickling, who hasn't been able to join us today, but we want to work with her on exploring ways to bring healing to trauma, the trauma of Windrush. So this is a very short project and a little bit of funding, but it's Welsh Government funded, and it's our organisation, Learning Links International, and its Welsh name, that will be working on this. So over the next few weeks, we're going to be maybe pulling together a network of folks who are particularly interested or have got expertise in this area. So that was just to let you know what's happening there. So I hope that's all right. Okay. And now for Lola's treat. Right, let me just get this one. Now this is not just for you, Lola. This is also for Lorna. So here we go. Let's get organised. Share the screen again. So Lorna, I'm so pleased. And Lorna, I'm not quite sure who you've got with you, but I know you've got a colleague with you, a friend or a family or partner or whatever. So greetings to you both. I just wanted to tell you about the Penance Project. That's what we call it. And the reason that it's a gift for you, Lola, is to make you homesick. So you're desperate to get back over there. Okay, so the Penance Project. You can see Yasser Safari there with Richard Douglas Pennant outside Penryn Castle in 2008. So Yasser's really helped poets together. They performed, and for over 10 years we've been working on this project to develop links with areas of Jamaica that have strong historical links in North Wales. And I talked about Gifford Pennant earlier. It was 1655 that he went, so that land must have been left in his name until well into the 1700s, mustn't it? And also recognise that fellow Welshman and pirate Governor General of Jamaica, Henry Morgan, also settled and established plantations north of Clarendon. So there are very strong links between North Wales and Clarendon, and Jamaica generally. So, and that's the picture of the Pennant's Denby plantation in Clarendon, and that was from that's one of the paintings that's in Penryn Castle. Okay, so I'm not going to go through in detail the aims of the Penance Project, but just to say it's about appropriate relationships, getting the communities together. But I can let you have this information, Laura, again. So, well, last time I was in Jamaica was in 2018, and I travelled up the new road to Penance, and not a pothole in sight. It was an absolute delight. So that's exciting. So Penance is really on the map now with with this new road that's cut through, or been, yeah, I think it's had some work on the area. So these are some of the places in Penance. So this isn't much of a treat really for you, Lorna, but it's a treat for us to see these some of the places in that might have been even repainted again by now, but we remind friends and colleagues about how it is in the Penance community. So, Lorna, if there's anything you want to comment on at any stage, just shout out. If inadvertently you've got a picture of your house, then just let me know. We went to what was then called the John Austin All Age School. It's now called the John Austin Primary School, isn't it? That's right, Lorna. Thank you. Help me out with these because I get a bit tongue-tied. And at this stage, it was Mrs. Clark Bailey who was the principal there, and she was just so delightful. And her two little girls are there. Also, Miss Rob, who was one of the first people to share the story of Robert Rumble with me and share that information. It's really exciting now that we can move ahead with that story because we found a professor called Bogle, Professor Bogle from, he's now based at Brown's University in the States, but he actually knew Robert Rumble and he's going to help us with the story. You see a few little Welsh dragons here, little red dragons. So it was lovely to meet up with Miss Rob, and also just to say that it's sad because Councillor Milton Brown passed that just over a year ago, maybe a bit longer, because he first challenged, when he was mayor of Clarendon, he challenged the Pennant family and said that they should look at making some reparations. So it's been a very long time. That was in 2007, but he very kindly took me around to see the basic school as well. And I know, Lorna, you're chair of the governors of the basic school, and we want to try and help to improve the facilities there, as well as try and do something with the help the school and help with some adult education with Heart NTA. So we talked the other evening. I can't remember what time it was in your world. So, and the other lovely lady there is who's wearing the Welsh hat and the bright top. That's Jennifer Williams. She's my sister. My name was Williams before I married. So she's just a beautiful lady. Okay, then, so we looked at the school. We discovered that there was all kinds of things that needed doing, and we've got a friend teacher there also. Also we've supported the John Austin Baptist Church Welfare Programme. This is from the North Wales Jamaica Society. We've been able to make contributions from time to time there, and that's been hopefully useful. This was way back September that year, and here we are. And this is a quick trip of mine. And Bernard, I know you've seen these before, but perhaps other people haven't. So the fabulous Knutsford Express. I travelled from Montego Bay. It's great. I went to the Rotary Club in Maypen, and Walter's still keeping in touch with the people there so that we may be able to get some Rotary funding to help. And they'd like to get a Rotary group going up in Pennants, which might help us a lot with our links, Lorna. So I met with the Board of Trustees. I sat there. Walter's the guy with the white T-shirt with red sleeves, and Reverend Barrington Hood there. And we have managed to get some funding to improve things at the school, but I have to say it's been like pulling teeth, if you know that expression. Had a meeting with the Mayor of Penn, Mayor of May Penn, Winston Mirage. He was really a delightful gentleman. And Milton Brown was also there with other councillors too. And also Pernell Charles wanted to speak with me and meet me and find out what was going on. And they enabled me to visit several places. There's Sean Barneswell, who was the previous mayor, and that was at the Denby Showground. Their Denby Showground, okay. So it wasn't on a show day, so it was looking a bit quiet, but some of the pictures at the bottom there are remaining things from the days when it was a plantation. I also went to Edwin Allen's school and was visiting with Yasser Safari there again, who's supported me through all of these things that I've done, and I do some things to help him out as well with his touring and things, and a Welsh colleague, Rhys Trimble, who came over that time, then going back to Wales and brought back T-shirts to the two gentlemen who were mayor and deputy mayor then. And this isn't a very good photograph, but it does show those two paintings that are in Penrhyn Castle, this massive great castle in Wales. And we want to try to help the Douglas Pennant family share the reparation funds that they've got with the communities in Pennant, and we're working hard to do that, but it's proved difficult. And I just have to say a very, very big thank you, Lola, to yourself, because you've been so kind, putting me in touch with people and seeing how we can move forward. And Coy Roach is the chair of our group. We've now got a little secretariat which includes Vivian Crawford from the Institute of Jamaica and Tothnelia Ellis and myself. So we are making progress. But Lorna, to speak with you the other time was just absolutely incredible. Clifford Headley put me in touch with you, and we just spoke on the phone and just realised that you've got the Pennant's community development group now, haven't you? Lorna, do you want to tell us anything about that?
Oh yes, the Pennant's community development, we re-established the group December 2020. And so far we have accomplished some projects. We have built tank stands, we have initiated electricity back to the center, because that's the home of our community development committee. And we have been looking around, and we discovered that, of course, Mr. Robert Rumba's grave is on the same property of the center. And we are not satisfied with the condition of the grave because of the impact he has had in our community. He is an unsung hero, and so we want to highlight him during the course of this year, during October, which is celebrated as our Heroes Month, where we reflect on the work that our heroes have contributed to Jamaica. And so when we thought of doing something towards his grave, maybe doing a monument or something, we heard of your group, and we have decided that we would ask you to cooperate with us. You know, we want to be a team member of yours. And right here we have one of my executive member. He is the public relations person, Ivor Johnson. And across here, we have Mrs. Beaver Thompson, who is our treasurer. And so we are so elated that we have been able to get in touch with a person like you who have been making such a great contribution to our heritage here in Penance. You have now put us on the map.
Yes.
And we are grateful. We are grateful, Liz. We are grateful. And we are looking forward to meet you, to work with you and your team, because, man,
it's just so exciting.
It is so exciting to know that we have been in touch with you, and a person like you who have dedicated so many years in
excellent
in you know, studying about Mr. Rumble and to bring this to the fore. We are really looking forward to that book. And we will do everything that we can do to make it possible. And we help you.
That's right. That's correct.
We help you. And we are looking forward for this collaboration to continue, and for our relationship to grow, and for trust to be built.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm delighted that you've got a public relations person, because this is a huge, huge story. And I think that we really have to make the very most of it. Yeah, really lovely. Lola, would you like to comment? Because I know you know folks back in Penance, don't you?
Oh, definitely. Thank you for the opportunity, Liz, to share with this august body. We have quite a few persons on the call. And I just want to say I'm a daughter of Jamaica, but specifically and intimately, I'm a daughter of Clarendon, Northwest Clarendon up in Spalding. That's where I am from. And in a very special way, I'm also acquainted with Penance. When I was going to high school, and I went to Edwin Allen High School, right there in Northwest Clarendon, I used to spend a lot of my time in Penance because my brother lived in Penance and had a furniture store in Summerfield. And therefore, during the summer, I would go to work in his furniture store to get pocket money for the opening of the new school year. So I'm very acquainted. I walk the streets. I know the bridge that connects there, right in Penance after you come from the top road. And my brother knew Miss Rob very well. So I look forward in meeting her again when I return to Jamaica. And I look forward to the development of the project in Penance. I'm happy that you were able to connect with Mr. Roach, because I gather his father is from that area as well. And he's a very influential person. He has worked with the Department of Mines, and I know that he'll be able to take this project along. I must say, for you, Liz, one can have a story to tell, but nobody to tell it to. And I knew that we would have to share the whole history of Penance, and especially Denby. We knew about it as a child, but who could we tell it to? And I was so happy when I met you and realized the interest that you really have in Jamaica, generally, Clarendon, and Penance specifically. And I was happy that you were able to invite my husband and I, because the proof of the pudding is really in the eating. And I would have heard what to have visited and was able to ask personal questions like, you know, sharing of the maps relevant to the area and all that. It was quite good. And to top it all is to meet in the town hall with some of the ordinary persons as well as those in authority, and to have my husband speaking with them so that they could understand that we are a people that they can relate to without any animosity. You know, we extended the hand of fellowship and it was accepted. And thanks to you for allowing this. And Liz, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And you have made more than the first step in this regard. And I just want to say loudly how we thank you for working with me, especially to get the Wales Alliance going. Because without this, we can't reach very far in Jamaica. We need to have a team on the ground. Yes, you have been supporting Penance and Austin, but we needed to have a team on the ground so that we can work with you in a professional and business-like manner. And I am so happy before we leave here, we have achieved that. So we are very much on our way. And I can say you have my personal commitment. I know my husband is very busy, so am I. But you have our commitment to continue to work with this project and to share, especially with the Institute of Jamaica. Thanks for those slides that you have put together. I know they will be used effectively at the Institute of Jamaica, the university, and we will find some way to meet the administration of the Denby, especially the Denby show, so that at some point we can establish and get the connection rooted. Thank you for this afternoon, and we wish you all the best in what you have done already, you're doing, and what we hope that you will do. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much indeed. I feel as if I need to clap again. Wow, yes, and I'm going to ask a favour of you both. I'm going to ask if you will please take my personal best wishes with you to Jonathan Greenland. Now, Jonathan is Welsh from Penarth, and we really need to get him on board. These last years he's been very, very busy, and I've not really been able to engage him in our activities. So now I know what you're going to be back over in Jamaica. You'll be meeting up, no doubt, with Jonathan and his lovely family. And I hope that we'll be able to engage him more, because he's the director of the Museum of Jamaica and the, I think, Art Gallery of Jamaica and all kinds of other auspicious things. So he's really a brilliant contact. I'd appreciate that. And now I'd just really like to say you've got a wonderful few weeks ahead of you, busy weeks ahead of you, because we've got Jamaica 60, and I know you're going to be doing so many wonderful things, and I can't tell you, I feel a bit homesick. I need to either get back to Jamaica or I need to get back to the UK, but I'll watch what you're doing and enjoy that. So I do hope all that goes really very well indeed. It's absolutely brilliant. So thank you so much, everybody.
Excuse me, Liz. My husband had a message he wanted me to give to the High Commissioner. From our music school, we've got some instruments that he would like to send or give to the Alpha Boys School in Kingston, Southampton Road. So he just was asking, what's the best way of getting the instruments to get to Alpha?
Okay. Did you catch my number when I gave it earlier?
I can get it from Juanita.
Right.
Yes.
Good. And share with me, let me have a list of the instruments.
Right. They're new instruments,
Okay, that's good information.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. My husband's saying what's left from our Kemet Music School that we used to help people to read music. My husband's from George's, originally from Kingston. He came in 5.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Yes.
You went to Alpha. Yeah. Just talk to yourself.
Hello, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Indeed.
Yeah, I went to Alpha School opposite Sabina Park.
Yes,
Okay.
you know exactly where.
Yeah, you know exactly where. And
Yes.
a lot of my friends were musicians.
Okay.
A lot of my friends were musicians, like Rico Rodriguez.
Yes.
Yeah, and I also knew Joe Harriet.
Well, this would be a very welcomed gift from past students.
So we had a music school for 5 years.
Wow.
So we got some funding,
Yes.
you know, to get some instruments.
Yes.
So I've got a couple of electric guitars,
yes.
You know, still in their boxes.
Yes.
I've got I think a brand new trombone.
Okay.
Right, has never been used, and I've got like a bass, one of them amplify, you know, one of them bass speakers for we use for you
yes.
plug in your guitar and use, you know, a large one.
Okay.
You can
okay.
also use it for public address systems.
Okay.
So I can get the list for you.
Certainly.
But it's trying to get it to Jamaica, you see.
Right.
You know the red tape and all them sort of things.
That is
and
true.
the costs involved.
Yes. Yes.
But I'd like it to go to Alpha school. You know Alpha School for Boys?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
you know, my wife just whispered something in my ear. We are departing on well, in August, but the shipping of our you know, our household things and so on will, well, it will leave sometime, yeah, ahead of us, sometime probably you know, second to third week of July. If we could really get hold of the things in you know, we could just take it to Alpha for you.
We'll organise that.
Yeah.
Fantastic offer. That's absolutely.
We'll organise that. We'll organise it.
You'll organize it? Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Good.
We'll try to organize it.
Yes. Okay then.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
that would be
Brian.
great.
Thank you very much.
Okay, good.
Okay.
It is not a lot.
That's nice. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that.
Oh,
So,
that's wonderful.
okay.
The networking is amazing.
Yes, amazing, amazing.
Okay, so I'm just going to then ask if there's any of our Jamaican colleagues who are with us. Does anybody else want to comment, speak, anything else? Anita's had to leave now, and so that's yes, Nadia.
Yes, I'd just like as well to say thank you, Liz, as well for all that you do. I mean, I've been in a couple of times and I'm learning so much myself. Interestingly, my eldest grandson's grandfather on the other side is named Pennant as well. So maybe he's, linked, so that's interesting. But also to say thank you to the High Commissioner and his wife for their tenure here in the UK. And as a member of the Jamaican Society and Friends here in Reading, our organisation works quite closely with the Commission, actually. And hopefully we will meet up at the Jubilee celebration in August in Birmingham. But yes, so thank you so much for all that you do, that you have done, and will continue to do. And I know that even if you're not the High Commissioner here in the UK, you'll still be quite active in Jamaica as well. So yeah, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
For the opportunity.
No idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's magic when friendships are made. Things can happen, and it's really very special. And I feel quite emotional. I look around the screen and so many people are my friends. Two of my very good friends, Jaswinder Singh Chaggar, I mentioned earlier, Tigani Roy, who's the founder and chair of NWAMI, the North Wales Association for Multicultural Integration, has done lots of great things. And George, I don't know if you remember, when we went to the Houses of Parliament, do you remember that was Sibani's event we went to?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
And I'll not forget your I'll not forget your kindness, because I was just awaiting my hip replacements.
I
And I was
recall,
really struggling to walk and carry my bag and things. And,
yes,
and the
oh
fact that
boy.
you gave us a lift in the High Commission car meant that I managed a whole lot better, and I thank you for that. So
Yes,
it is wonderful. Sibani's just put a message on the chat to say thank you to all you wonderful people, and looking forward to the Jubilee celebration in Birmingham. And she says, please don't forget me. How could I forget you, Sibani Roy? Good friend. So it's lovely. Now, someone who hasn't said anything yet, and I just want to bring in Makapi. Makapi Selassie's in Tanzania. He's helped us on the Rasta project in the West Midlands some years ago, and Yasses and I were working on that. Makapi, are you there? No, maybe he's not there. Anyway, respect to Makapi. I mean, they did some wonderful work. And now I'm going to wrap things up. And Simon, I'm just asking, are you still there? Simon isn't always able to stay to the end, and then we have a bit of an issue trying to stop the recording. So I'm going to attempt to stop the recording now, but before I do that,
Yeah,
so, Makapi, you all right?
Yes, I'm fine, Liz. It's just the internet connection. You know what I mean? It just.
Okay. Come on then, Makapi, tell us a bit of a story. We must include you in all of this, because it's truly an international gathering today, and we're just saying a real big thank you to His Excellency, the Jamaican High Commissioner, Seth George Ramocan, and the wonderful Dr Lola Ramocan, and wishing them all the very best. I wish I could give you a hug, but perhaps it's not appropriate at all, but you feel such good
virtual
hug.
Yeah.
Virtual hug.
Well, well, really and truthfully, I can really say it's been a joy and an honor to be on this call. You know what I mean? To witness the works of some, the dignitaries, as I would say, the dignitaries. You know what I mean? And Liz, I mean, when it comes to singing the praises of Liz Millman, I'm in the choir, because we did a project in Birmingham, based on in the West Midlands of England, on the roots and development of Rastafari. And Liz sat through some very, I would say, like when they say Daniel in the Lion's Den, Liz was like that. You know what I mean? She's the only white person in the group, and you have 30, 40 Rastafari questioning, what is this white woman doing here? Yeah? What this white woman doing here? She's a spy, and all these kind of things. And then she works with the CIA or MI5 or MI6, and them questioning Liz, and and Liz stand up in the fire. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? And for someone to do that, you're talking the art of Answorth in Birmingham, in the library. There was a meeting there and Yassos, you know what I mean? And it was a fire meeting. Because people are saying, who is this woman? Well, she have money for Rasta, for go study Rasta. Who? And I brethren Abti Wald, who passed now and worked on the project.
Yes.
Right? We were the ones who had to defend Liz. You know what I mean? And so ultimately we were in the firing line as well. These Rasta sell out and what am I doing with the white woman and them I work for this, so I had to go to the fire as well. Liz, she worked at City College. She put on a Jamaican language course. I went on that Jamaican language course, taught by my lovely teacher, Natalie Fagan Brown. And yes, it was a fantastic course about Jamaican language. What else can I say? She promised, right, that the top 2 students, right, she would take them to Jamaica, right? And so said, so done, as my mother would say. She took I and what's her name now? Lynette.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, who was passed as well, Lynette, to Jamaica in 2007, right? So Liz has a long track record with Jamaica and working with different people. And out of working with Liz, I and afterward them set up an I own company because I worked with the Ministry of Justice to establish Rastafari corporate worship in the prisons in England. And that wouldn't have happened without Liz, to be truthful. So yeah, big up Liz. I've been honored to do something pertaining to my family. My parents have come from a place called Gibraltar in St. Anne's, and they come over in the 1950s to England. They had 7 children in Jamaica, and then when they came over here, well, came over to England, they had 3 more. And so I am the first one who was born in England. And so we have one of those families. And so the opportunity came up to look at the effect of on those who were left behind by their parents went forward to England. I agree. Right, so I've done that, and I'm in the process of writing that up, and then I will present it to the group. But it's been a real eye-opener in many, many ways. You know, for example, I kind of find out that by the age of 10, right, ones who were brought up in Jamaica, right, knew how to wash, cook, iron, you understand, do all these things by the age of 10, right? So when they came over to England and went into schools, right, they were, how can I say, years ahead of the children them in the school who couldn't even boil an egg. So these are the things I find out, totally different things, but as I would say, I'll put it in, get it in writing and then present it to the group later on. But it's a joy and an honor to be on the call. Your Excellencies, it sounds like you've been doing a great job and you're loved by the people. So, you know, may you continue, you know, doing those great works. Also the ones in Jamaica, Penant, it's good to see the eye them, you know. I am what they call Windrush Picnic, okay? So one perfect love.
Thank you so much, McCarthy. And lots of people have said in this call, thanks to me, and well, it's really thanks to all of you, because you can't do anything when you're just doing it on your own. And McCarthy, I really do appreciate the fact I just happen to be reasonably good at writing bids, and I got the money off the Heritage Lottery to look at the roots and development of Rastafari in the West Midlands, and nothing would have happened had it not been for yourself and our wonderful colleague Hapti Wold, and of course the famous Yasser Safari, who is at the moment very busy because he's getting ready for his the Jamaica Poetry Festival, which is part of the Jamaica 60 celebration. So we're looking at McCarthy's a brilliant poet, and we're looking at engaging Jamaican poets and poets from around the UK in another project that we're working on. So that's really exciting and lovely. So, oh, just so many good things. Thank you to all of you. I find it quite emotional. And I just want to say, though, to you, George, and to Lola, I can count you, I think, as friends now. Thank you so much, and just walk good, and I hope all goes well in your transfer back to Jamaica. But enjoy yourself first with Jamaica 60.
Thank you very much. Blessing to you all. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much indeed. So thank you to you all. I'm going to attempt to switch the recording off now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Always work.
Okay, bye everybody. Thank you. Thanks, Lynn.
Bye
everyone. Thanks.
Excellent. See, I look forward to seeing you on Sunday at the garden party at Battersea.
Lorna, if you just stay on for a minute, that's lovely, because Where are we? Just get this stop recording. Right. It's recording thing. It goes on and on anyway. He'll wheedle off the bit at the end. So we're just now really informal. And wasn't it lovely that the High Commissioner and his wife stayed all this long time? Gracious me. And you all survived this long time too. You can speak now, Jaswinder Singh Chagga. This is my good friend from Wolverhampton. I'm telling my friends Lorna and colleagues. How are you, Jaswinder?
Good afternoon. It's nearly 4 p.m. in Wolverhampton, United Kingdom. It's good to be here, to see everybody and catch up with you, Liz. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Well, I hope you'll join us a bit more often.
Yes.
When we start